Salutations, Celestial Sightseers. I'm David Fuller. Welcome to Eyes on the Sky. What's up this week? First thing I want to do is let you know that you can actually buy some Eyes on the Sky swag now on YouTube. I've got stickers and shirts and some other cool stuff that you can purchase, and the proceeds from that do help to support me with Eyes on the Sky. So if you do purchase something, thank you so much. You can also on YouTube now, if you are on a desktop, you can do a little applause thing, which donates a little bit of money towards me, which also helps to support what I'm doing. So let's get to what's happening this week. There is a comet that is visible, and since earlier this year we had Comet Atlas and Comet Swan that both kind of either disintegrated or fizzled and didn't really do a whole lot despite high expectations. Comet NEOWISE has managed to survive perihelion with the sun and should be visible in both the morning and the evening sky. How is that possible? Well, I'm going to show you. Do note that I have made a video that shows you exactly how to add a comet into Stellarium so you can see where it will be for you, because depending on where you are located, the comet will be in different parts of the sky. So for example, if you live in Great Britain somewhere, then the comet may actually never set. It may be low on the horizon, but it will be visible perhaps all night. But if you live somewhere well south of me, say in India, as some of my viewers do, it may be more difficult to see just because of how close it is to the sun and where the sun comes up for you. But here in the United States, I want to show you kind of what's happening. So if we go back 2 months or so and look at how the comet was kind of going towards the sun, we can look over here and see how close it is to the sun and distance from the sun. It was 1 astronomical unit away, about the same distance as Earth, about a month before perihelion. And then as we get closer, we can see how right on the 3rd of July, its closest distance was 0.295 astronomical units. Now it looks further away than when it was here, but that's just because of how the orbital mechanics work. So this is actually its closest point to the sun. So what that means for us is that a couple days out, if we move forward into our evening sky, and I have left out the ground intentionally so you can kind of see what the comet is doing, because although it's a little low in the sky here for the evening, watch what happens when we move over into the morning. I'm going to swing this over this way. And 4 in the morning or so, actually let's bring this up to 5 in the morning. You can see how it's nice and high in the sky over there. So let's do the northeast there. And then if we back up through our evening, you can see how it kind of like grazes below. And it's not quite high enough over here. But as we go forward in time, you can see how that gets higher in the evening sky like that. But if we go back and bring it over into the morning, here's the morning sky. I'm going to actually go to about 4:30 or so, because that's going to give a little bit better idea. And then we head up through the time frame, and you can see how it sort of goes over but then down towards the horizon. So that gives you some indication of what's happening. Now, don't necessarily rely on what these magnitudes show, because Stellarium very often doesn't show the magnitude very well. However, what I have learned from some people who have looked at this just within the last day or two, it's at about magnitude 1 right now, which is very bright, but we have kind of a short window to be able to see it before it really kind of races away from the sun and also loses a lot of magnitude. So there's 2 different ways to look at it. One is going to be obviously be in the morning while it's still high, like this. Let me put the ground back up so you can see this a little better. So we do the landscape, we can show the ground again, and that's how you also take the ground back off. So from now through, I'm going to say about a week or so, you've got some time, maybe even a little longer than that. If we look at how high it is above, we've got enough elevation. To me, about 5 degrees up is really kind of the minimum. You get below that and you're looking through so much atmosphere, even trying to photograph through so much atmosphere. Comets don't really show up very well. But if you're above 5, then you've got a good opportunity. Now look at that, 4:30 in the morning. You're going to have some nice chances to be able to see that before it really kind of drops down. So maybe about 10 days for a morning object. But then let's go look at it over in the evening sky and back that up. And you can see how it really kind of races up, but again, it's getting further away from the sun at the same time. So we got about 5 degrees, maybe starting on the 12th. We're further away from the sun, so the magnitude may be less. My estimates that I've seen put this at about magnitude 2. So it may be brighter in the morning sky if you get up early to go see it in the next week or so, but then it's going to start to dim as it gets away. But then in the evening sky, it's going to race up much higher. And we can even kind of move this ahead in some time to about 10 o'clock, so it's darker. And you've got good contrast at like 10 o'clock at night. You're up about 9-10 degrees or so, and that should give a nice view of this particular comet. So again, to load this into Stellarium, check out one of my previous videos. It's how to load a comet into Stellarium, so you can see how it's going to look for you for your latitude, and then check out where it's going to be relative for your time zone, how high it will be above the sky for both either the evening or morning. But the sooner you can see it, the brighter it will be. But I think we've got about 2 weeks to be able to see this comet pretty well, and since it's survived its closest trip from this, or its closest point away from the sun on the 3rd, we're looking like we actually have finally a good comet to take a look at. So don't miss this one. The moon should be largely out of the way for most of this because it's a northern looking comet, and the moon's going to be towards the south. So plus the moon is going now from full into waning gibbous phase. So give this comet an opportunity. It's Comet C 2020 F3 NEOWISE, and hopefully we can all see a great comet for 2020, and hopefully this one doesn't actually portend something of doom despite all the murder hornets and plagues and other things that have been happening in 2020. Yay. That's all for this week. Keep your eyes on the sky and your outdoor lights aimed down so we can all see what's up. I'm David Fuller, wishing you clear and dark skies.